When Donkey Kong Country Returns first hit the Wii, it was a massive return to form, and while I definitely did and still do have my minor nitpicks with it, I love the game, HD specifically. But for diehard fans, and I mean, quite honestly, regular fans in general, there was one thing missing: the Kremlings. We got the Tiki Tak tribe instead. These, the musical instruments, they float around, they hypnotize all the animals, and I loved them. I am one of the biggest Tiki Tak tribe defenders, and every single person who has ever watched my videos can attest to that. They were fine. I would say they're better than fine. They were good. They got the job done. But they weren't the king. And for years, I just assumed that Retro Studios maybe wanted a clean break from the Rareware era, or they wanted to try their own thing, or just whatever. We thought the Kremlings were never even part of the conversation. And I don't know how long this image has been out. I'm sure it's been out for literally probably 10 years. I've just never seen it, but I wanted to make a video on it because this changed everything at how I look at Donkey Kong Country Returns. I was discussing something with a member of my Discord server, link in the description as well as the pinned comment in the comments. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. He showed me this image. I had never seen this image before. I'm recording this probably an hour and a half after he sent that picture to me, and I couldn't believe it. Now, immediately, I assumed this was fan art, right? I mean, the first thing you always think is it's fan art. But after doing several reverse searches, not only with Google, Gemini, but also with Microsoft, Bing, it both came to the conclusion that this was, in fact, official concept art for Donkey Kong Country Returns. And it also confirms that King K. Rool wasn't just considered, he was being redesigned to fit the new aesthetic of this game perfectly. Let's actually analyze what we're looking at here, because this tells a wild story. This is not the Mad Pirate King from DKC 2, and it's not the Mad Scientist from DKC 3. This is Tribal K. Rool, and quite honestly, I really like this look. Look at the details. He's got the bone through his nose, wearing a ceremonial skirt made of the feathers, and he's rocking that massive headdress. He looks cool. He looks awesome. And look at the sketches on the left over there. Looks like he was going to wear, at some point, a wooden mask, very similar to the Tiki Tak tribe that we ended up getting. This implies that K. Rool, maybe he wasn't going to be working with the Tikis. Maybe he was probably their leader, to be honest with you. Or maybe he was even posing as their god. Who knows? God K. Rool? That sounds cool. It bridges the gap very nicely between the two eras, and it explains why the enemies are Tikis and not the Kremlings. Maybe K. Rool created them. Maybe he conquered their tribe and put on their clothes to command them. I don't know. But this is fascinating. So if they had stuck with this concept, how different would the game have been? The biggest complaint about the Tiki Tak tribe was that they didn't have enough personality. And while I don't disagree, I don't also super agree with that sentiment either. They were, in some points, they were just floating wood. Some of those bosses in DKC Returns HD, they were mid. But if this K. Rool was the main villain, that changes the entire vibe to me. Imagine the levels. Instead of just fighting generic Tiki masks, imagine fighting Kremlings dressed in that tribal gear. Critters with spears and skirts and wooden masks, maybe some wooden armor. Clumps wearing grass skirts. It would have kept that savage jungle vibe that Retro Studios wanted, but it would have kept the charm of the characters that, to be honest, most people actually cared about. The story wouldn't have just been magic masks steal bananas, though again, comparing it to The Force Awakens and A New Hope, they're very similar movies, story-wise. Heck, they're almost identical, as is Returns HD and the first Donkey Kong Country. But I don't see that as a negative for this game. It would have been K. Rool, desperate to reclaim his island, adopting the local culture and magic to build, maybe a new army or something. I think that is much more compelling than what we, originally got. We have to talk about the final boss. We got Tiki Tong, a giant head with hands. It sounds dumb. I love Tiki Tong. I don't care. It's a video game boss, and we've seen it a million times, and there have been bosses before that and since then that have been very similar, but I don't care. I really like Tiki Tong. But imagine the final showdown with this guy, Tribal K. Rool. He could have used the Tiki Mask to hypnotize Donkey Kong. He could have used that wooden mask to transform. I don't know. The world is your oyster. Whatever you want to imagine, imagine it. And that could have been a possibility. The fight maybe could have started with him like wearing the wooden disguise, trying to look like a giant tiki and failing, obviously you wouldn't be able to do that. And then bam, his mask breaks and reveals the classic K. Rool was there the whole time. Shock and awesome. The crowd would have gone absolutely nuts, as would I have. It feels like a massive missed opportunity for a plot twist there. The leader of the Tikis turning out to be our nemesis all along. I think that is cinematic gold. I think that would have been so fun and would have played with our emotions even more than Bonanza did. And Bonanza did plenty of playing with our emotions on every single level. You know that. Don't get me wrong. I think Donkey Kong Country Returns HD is pretty close to being a masterpiece in terms of level design. But seeing this art, it kind of hurt a little bit. Like, this is crazy. It shows that, again, I'm not confirming that this is real. I'm just saying that I did several reverse image searches and both of them led me to believe and told me that this was in fact official. They had a design ready to go that fit the world perfectly. Why they scrapped it, I have no idea. We will probably never know for sure. Maybe they thought it was too much nostalgia. Maybe they thought it didn't fit the story well enough. Who knows, honestly. But what do you guys think of Tribal K. Rool? I think he looks spectacular, and it would have been a really, really cool twist. We've got the original King K. Rool, the first Donkey Kong Country. We've got the Pirate from DKC 2, Mad Scientist from 3, the Boxing Champion from DK64, and then we have Lord of Rot K. Rool and his grand return in Bonanza. This could have been such a cool shift in design and character. But it's okay, because again, I still love Tiki Tong. This is just very, very different. Do you guys prefer this design over Tiki Tong that we actually got? Let me know. And if you liked this look at what could have been, make sure to like and subscribe to my channel for more Nintendo history and, some hypothetical what-ifs. Because if anything, they're just fun to talk about. I've been Justin. I'll see you guys all in the next video. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Have an amazing Christmas and take care.